beautiful evening in Coors Field. Last night, a crowd of more than 34,000 watched the Rockies knock off the Braves 5-4. And another great crowd hoping for the same result this evening. The Rockies, winners of 2 straight, are now 64-60. The Braves come in leading the National League East. They're 73 up and 52 down. Good evening, everybody. Hi once again with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Last night was an entertaining ball game. The Rockies had a 3-0 lead at one point. The Braves caught them. The Rockies won on a base hit in the 8th inning from Todd Helton. It was not his only hit of the evening, though. He was 4 for 4.
Yeah, how about the old guy coming through, had a double, a shot down the right field line, finally looking like the Todd Helton of old. The most impressive in bat for me, I understand the hits and all this, that was nice. The double was nice because he ended up tying a pretty special player in Willie Mays. But what I liked was when he came up in the last inning to drive in the winning run, because there was a very difficult left-hander on the mound, and he fires it right in on his head. Then the next pitch he's able to take back up the middle and drive in Gonzalez. And you think about this for Todd Helton, when you start mentioning his name and you start putting history behind it, it's a pretty special player and has been a special player for this organization.
Well, we chatted about it last night. If you're mentioned in the same breath with one Willie Mays, you've done some special things in the game. Jeff Hewson situated tonight in a little different spot right behind home plate. He's going to bug the umpires all evening. Hey, that was a lot of fun watching Todd last night.
Well, it really was, and what I like best about it is his swing. We talk about working underneath the ball and your body drifting. Well, last night that didn't happen. When you start to drift a little bit, the barrel works underneath the ball. Last night, Todd was able to stay back on his backside, so when he went to swing, he was attacking it from a top angle here. That creates that good backspin that we always talk about, and I look forward to watching him again tonight from home plate.
Minutes. Carlos Gonzalez, he was awfully good last night as well. Big night for baseball. Rockies and Braves meeting for the 5th time this year. The Rockies have won 2. The Braves have won 2. Rockies knocked off a pretty good right-hander last night by the name of Tim Hudson. They'll face 37-year-old Derek Lowe in a little bit. Carlos Gonzalez, you're starting to run out of adjectives to describe just how special he's been this year.
Well, he has been special. You know, and last night he hit a couple of milestones for a player. Once you get 70, you want to get 80 RBIs. Once you get 15 stolen bases, you'd like to get 20. He continues to drive in runs. Last night, 2 for 3 on this double off of the wall, stayed in the ballpark, scored Dexter Fowler. They came up with another base hit, and oh yeah, then he got his 20th stolen base of the season for Carlos Gonzalez. He is a special player and a fun player to watch play this game.
Said it many times. They're guys who have 5 tools. They can run fast, they can field, they can hit for power. Most of those guys don't bring it every night. He brings the entire tool bag every night. And for more on his story, we go field level to Alana Rizzo. Hey, Alana.
Hey, guys. Thanks very much. George was just saying that Carlos Gonzalez reached another milestone with RBI. Well, he is now in the 2020 club. 25 home runs, 20 stolen bases. I asked him if it was important to him. He said, absolutely. Every day I come to the park, I want to be better than I was the day before. And he joins a very fine list of guys. Dante Bichette did it twice, 94 and 96. Ellis Burks also in 1996. Larry Walker's MVP year in 1997 with 49 blasts, 33 stolen bases. Matt Holliday in 08. Troy Tulowitzki, the most recent for the Rockies before Cargo in 2009. And, of course, Carlos Gonzalez in 2010. He also recognizes, you know what, I'm still a young player. I have a lot to learn. He's learning pretty fast, guys.
He is learning fast. He's 24, and that's a pretty good group to be a part of. It is Text to Booth night. It's Tuesday, so fire up those phones. Rockies and Braves, come on back with us. Fast high-speed internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. Buy E470, quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. By Ford Fusion. It's the 2010 Motor Trend Car of the Year, Ford Fusion. Drive one. And by Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. Oh, I hate the old bubble gum on the hat trick.
Somebody's got to have it. It might as well be the catcher, right?
How long does it go, George? What's
For
the under-over?
For a while. And Schultz is going to have to get him a new hat.
Well, see, he's backing up Olivo tonight, so that may stay on there for a while. And the bubble's intact. It's good work. We'll have to find out who the culprit is. There's Omar Infante. He's hitting a cool .350 with an on-base percentage of .381. got a 12-game hitting streak. He's the reigning National League Player of the Week. He'll be followed by Jason Hayward, who has 9 hits in his last 3 ball games. That's pretty good. Martin Prado hit a 2-run home run last night on a pitch that was over his head. More on that later. Derek Lee, Matt Diaz in the lineup in left field. Alex Gonzalez slides up from the 7th spot to the 6th spot. Melky Cabrera, the former Yankee, David Ross, the former Dodger, and Derek Lowe, the former Red Sox, among other clubs. Jorge De La Rosa will make his 13th start tonight, George.
Yeah, he sure will. And again, 4-4 so far. You see the record so far, what he has been able to accomplish on the mound. In a season, everybody knows, started out wonderfully for him, 3-1 in the month of April, and then the injury bug hit. So far in the month of August, 1-1.
First pitch is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space in your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 12. One weekly winner will be chosen.
You know, last night you ended up watching Jason Hamill go out, a guy that had an earned run average over 12 against the Atlanta Braves. Well, his history against that lineup wasn't the same lineup. Same thing for De La Rosa. The lineup he'll face tonight, a lot of changes, and we talked about the Atlanta Braves and the changes they've had to make. His record in his career, 0-1 with over a 12 ERA. Throw that out the window.
1 strike count on Omar Infante. 79 degrees our game time temperature tonight. And this is on the ground off of Stewart, and Tulowitzki's throw is not going to get Omar Infante, and it's now a 13-game hitting streak for Infante. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively tonight. In the outfield, they'll have Carlos Gonzalez, Dexter Fowler, and Seth Smith. The infield's the same as last night. Stewart, Tulowitzki, Young, and Helt, and Miguel Olivo doing the catching this evening. Jason Hayward at the plate. Swung on and missed.
A little more patient against right-handers than he is left-handers. He's trying to get after that first pitch fastball.
Good looking pitch called a strike by Lance Barksdale. It's 0-2. Jason Hayward in the first half hit .251. He got a great deal of attention, hit a home run on his first swing in the big leagues. The #1 prospect in the game. And he had a good first half. He's having an even better second half, .305 in the second half.
A lot of times you say to young players, their second time through the league or second time particularly inside their division, if they don't make the adjustments, that's a learning period for them. Obviously, he's made the adjustment this second half.
He's a Georgia native, and that's in the dirt. This is one of the areas that Jorge wants to clean up, and he did a much better job, George, in Los Angeles with his pitch count. But you'll see De La Rosa get to 0-2, 1-2 with some degree of regularity, and then all of a sudden, next time you look up at the scoreboard, it's 3-2.
Just trying to miss too much instead of believing in the stuff that he has and throwing it over the plate.
Swung on and missed. A strikeout of Hayward for the first out. Let's go downstairs, check in again with Alana, get a little update on the bubble gum. Alana?
Gum on the hat trick, guys. Ubaldo Jimenez was very intent on coming over and telling our first base camera operator, Bo McWilliams, that he definitely needed to shoot Chris Iannetta with the gum on the hat. So Ubaldo is not fessing up to it, but he wanted to definitely make sure that Chris Iannetta was on camera. So I'm not going to rat him out anyway, because the last time I ratted a player out, I got in trouble for it when I told Carlos Gonzalez Spilly was the one that had the pie in the face.
So you're not going to say that it was Ubaldo?
I'm not going to say it was Ubaldo.
But you said it was Ubaldo.
I didn't say it was Ubaldo. I said he came over to make sure he was on camera.
Do you know what he is? He's a suspect of interest right now. He's a person of interest. Right. He's not a suspect.
Not a suspect yet. He's a person of interest.
Right. Ubaldo's a person of interest.
The gum has deflated, though. It's very sticky. He's going to need a new cap.
You know what? He may have that when he shakes hands at the end of the night. 0-1 right now on Prado. 1-1. Well, Martin Prado was the conversation piece behind both hitting cages today, when the Rockies hit and then when the Braves hit. Everybody was saying, how did he get on top of that fastball that was helmet high and hit it over 400 feet? 2-run home run last night. Derek Lee was chatting before the game, and he unsolicited said, how about Prado, man? Can you believe that ball he hit? Ground ball toward the middle. Tulowitzki will glove it. He'll go to first. It's a 1-6-3 double play as De La Rosa got some leather on it. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we come back. To our television truck. This is a little earlier this evening. Ubaldo Jimenez clearly looks like Ubaldo, unless somebody dressed up as Ubaldo. Now, I don't know, is that admissible in court, Frazier?
Absolutely, you're done. Serve the sentence and take the payback like a man.
There's Eric Young Jr. He'll lead things off for the Rockies. Here's the rest of Jim Tracy's lineup tonight. Once again, it's EY, Dexter Fowler up top, then Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, Todd Helton, 4 for 4 last night. Seth Smith, Ian Stewart, who had a 2-run home run last night. Then Miguel Olivo and Jorge De La Rosa. All to face 37-year-old Derek Lowe.
Be interesting to see how he handles the left-handed bats of the Rockies, because most sinker ballers will backdoor the slider and then they'll come back with a hard sinker on that outer half of the plate. Left-handers with only 3 home runs this year, and they've hit 278 at bats against Mr. Lowe.
There's a pretty good sinker there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeff Houston's right behind home plate pretty much tonight. Can you see pitch movement?
Yeah, I can. It looks pretty nice. That one didn't move a whole lot.
No, and it's going along that. It's over the head of Diaz. It takes a hop over the left center field wall, which is unfortunate because that would have been at least a triple. I say at least, the way EY runs, George, you never know.
Well, the reason you say that's because he plays the game the right way. When the ball's hit out of the box the way he hit it, he knows that it's out into the gap. He's not a home run hitter, so he's instantly going to take off on the fly. But when this ball bounced out on the warning track, EY was already at second base. That tells you how quick he is, and the opportunity to get 3 would have been there.
Where Jeff Houston is.
I mean, I'm almost directly behind the pitcher.
And you did a really nice job hiding the food that I know you have under your seat right now.
It's in my briefcase right next to me. I got my glove, though, because it's, you never know down here, right behind home plate.
Dexter Fowler takes ball 2. Let me explain something to you, Jeff.
Yeah.
You see that, like, 30-foot screen in front of you?
Uh-huh.
Probably a good chance you're not going to get a baseball
No,
today.
but I'm just saying, if it comes over the
Yeah,
top
the
on a
pop foul, they come in rows
right
all
here.
the times.
Not the first row.
Well, you never know.
Absolutely,
Okay.
they do.
3-0.
I got a paramedic right here.
Just
I'm
don't,
okay.
don't pull a hamstring, because you do have help there.
He took one look at you and said, I probably should sit next to that guy.
Exactly. He's going to take care of me if I get hit.
3-0 on Dexter Fowler. Eric Young, a leadoff double. That's in there for a strike. Other than Kawakami, the only starter for the Braves this year to allow more hits in innings pitched, Derek Lowe.
Well,
and this is chopped to second. Nice job by Fowler.
Not a lot of strikeouts anymore from Derek Lowe, but he does get the ground ball outs. That's the difference, obviously, between him and a power pitcher. Younger days, threw the ball a lot harder.
So Dexter moves Ewide to third. Carlos Gonzalez coming up. Matt Diaz, Melky Cabrera, Jason Hayward in the Atlanta outfield. Prado, Gonzalez, Infante, and Derek Lee. David Ross doing the catching tonight for Brian McCann. Gonzalez, a single and a double last night and a walk. He's got the average up to 318. Chance to drive in his 81st run of the year.
It's almost a gimme in this situation for him if he just makes solid contact with the infield back.
And you have a guy who's not a big strikeout pitcher in Derek Lowe. Tonight's Text the Booth night. Text Booth followed by a space. And then your question to 95323. We'll answer your questions live tonight. Brought to you by Office Liquidators and OfficeLiquidators.com. Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices of office furniture. 1-1 is fouled off. It's 1-2.
First four guys in the order against Lowe have hit 321. The rest of the order has hit 230. So, I mean, obviously he's been able to handle the bottom half. It's been the first four guys in the lineup that have destroyed him all year. 11-11 overall record. Drew mentioned the hits per innings. It's 154 innings pitched, 161 hits given up. You look at Lowe through his career, too. He's 152 wins, 128 losses, 85 saves when he was with Boston, 42 were the most. That came in 2000 in a Red Sox uniform.
1-2 with Eric Young at third. And this will get the job done and then some. High and deep and long gone. Home run number 26 for Little Pony. And the Rockies off to a 2-0 beginning. It was time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast first inning style. Carlos Gonzalez went down and golfed it out more than 400 feet to right center field.
A lot of leverage created with that stiff front leg.
Huey, he was just trying to hit a fly ball there behind in the count.
Yeah, and he had the right approach, though, because he was sinking up the middle. He just caught it out in front. And, man, that ball just jumped off the bat down here.
So a terrific start. Tulowitzki at the plate with one out. RBIs 81 and 82 for Gonzalez.
What's impressive for me, because you have a veteran pitcher on the mound, his approach is going to be different on a 3-2 count than what it would be for a young pitcher. And typically, young pitchers are going to come with their best pitch, a fastball. When you face a veteran guy, you've got to look for off-speed stuff. Lowe fed it to him, and he hit it out of the park. That was impressive. Just the fourth home run this year and 279 at-bats given up.
This is going to be a base hit. So Tulowitzki reaches. Take a look at the Hyundai cam on that swing from Gonzalez.
Look at that slider. You know it's coming. You can see it coming right out of the hand. Bent wrist, everything else, trying to run it to the outer half of the plate. See how far back of a reach that Ross had to the middle of the plate to hit it. Let's take a quick look at the Suzuki keys to this ball game. Obviously, it's going to be helping to keep it going. He's at the plate right now after 4 hits last night. Patience with Lowe. The Rockies have been able to do that, put 2 on the board, and then De La Rosa staying on track. First inning, some ground ball outs resulted in a double play, and it gave the Rockies a chance to swing the bats, and they've done that.
Helton at the plate. First 4-hit game yesterday since July of last year, when he had 4 in a ball game at Petco Park. When Carlos Gonzalez hits a home run in a ball game, the Rockies are 18 and 6. slices this foul. Huey, we were watching Todd take batting practice today. Typical of Helton, he's going to, in the first couple of rounds, work the ball to left field. Well, he did that in every single one of his rounds. The only time I saw him pull the baseball was his last swing, and he hit it about 20 rows deep in a right field.
Drew, sinker ball pitcher. So all of a sudden, if you start to think, I'm going to try to pull this guy, knowing who's out on the hill tonight with Derek Lowe, if he's going to sink him away, I'm going to take all my at-bats going that way. Even if they bring a lefty in later in the ball game, still the same approach. But one thing I'm noticing so far down here with Derek Lowe, there's not a whole lot of sink on that sinker.
And that's not good if you're Derek Lowe. Pretty good if you're the Rockies, though. That's in there. 1 and 2. It's not often these days that on back-to-back nights you face a pitcher who has at least 150 wins in the big leagues. Hudson last night, Derek Lowe tonight. And Helton drives this ball to right field. Hayward moving over, reaching up, making the catch. Tulowitzki forgot how many outs there were. He's going to get doubled off first as he was already to third base. In the inning, the Rockies got a double from Eric Young and a 2-run home run from Carlos Gonzalez, his 26th of the year. And the Rockies are out front 2-0.
Todd Helton continuing to get milestones. We talked about that double in the 4th inning in last night's ball game. That was good enough for 37th all-time on the all-time doubles list to tie him with Willie Mays. But he's in good company with some active players, too. If you take a look at career games with 4 or more hits for active players, Helton is once again right up there. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez, 44 games. Ichiro Suzuki, 42. Alex Rodriguez with 39. And then Todd Helton tied both Johnny Damon and Derek Jeter with 35. All great active players. Todd Helton just keeps racking up the accolades, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? That swing he just had, that was a pretty good swing also, Jeff Houston.
Well, it was. It's really a carryover from last night, what he was able to do as far as staying behind the baseball, not drifting with that lower half so your body starts to get out in front. He got that front foot locked in there, and then the barrel came through just fine.
You know, that list Alana threw out that she had those guys listed, all but Johnny Damon's probably a pretty good opportunity that they're going to be in the Hall of Fame.
And you mentioned Johnny Damon as it's a 1-2 count on Derek Lee. Johnny Damon, who was picked up by his former club, the Red Sox, on waivers.
He hadn't agreed to it, though.
He nixed it.
Well, then, not surprisingly, after the way he was treated as he went in with a Yankee.
Well, that's not a surprise. I mean, you leave Boston, you end up in the Bronx, you're going to get booed. 2-2 on Derek Lee. It's 3-2 just off the corner. Lee to be followed by Matt Diaz tonight, and then Alex Gonzalez. Well, it is Text the Booth night. Let's break the ice with this text. Who will we likely see come up when the rosters expand next week on September 1st?
A lot of those guys are up here right now. Reynolds is up recently. Herrera. I mean, guys of that nature up very quickly on that side of it. I mean, I know there's some guys that I think deserve that opportunity to be here. One of those would be Jay Payton. He's been a great soldier. He's in his mid-30s. He's hit over 320.
Yep.
70-something RBIs in AAA. He's played well.
I would think Cole Garner will get his first look in the big leagues.
And I'll say this, too. I think there's some other guys there that could be on the AA roster that could show up here in September. More than anything, it's a protection year, so you get kind of a fresh 30-day look at them.
And Chris Nelson's had a terrific year, and he's been up already a couple times. Hard ground ball out to the left side. Derek Lee with his second Atlanta Brave hit. So Lee with the leadoff single. A couple outstanding first basemen chit-chatting away. Two guys who have a ton of respect for one another, Derek Lee and Todd Helton. It's our Breaks Plus Take a Break poll of the game. Tonight's question, should the batter's box be re-chalked halfway through the game? Text rocks 1 for yes, it keeps things tidy. Rocks 2 for no. Step outside the box. And the reason for doing that is some hitters, Jeff, I don't know if you're one of those guys, they wipe at that line as soon as they come up, and then maybe can cheat back an extra couple of inches.
Why not?
Yeah. I knew you would be in favor of that.
No, and here it's not chalk, it's painted. So they'd have to come out with the spray paint.
This is a double play ball. That's the second the Rockies have turned over tonight, and number 138 this year, which leads the National League.
But Eli shortened up a little bit at second base for the double play. Made this a nice, easy feed for him. Stay down on the baseball, the underhand toss, and just let the rocket let it fly to first base.
Jeff, we talked to Richie Dower a few days ago about this. I want to bring it up again. I know it's just been a couple of months since his last stint, and Eric Young Jr.'s worked hard to have softer hands. This ball's hit well. We'll come back to that in a second. And this is going to get him out of here. Home run from Alex Gonzalez, his 21st of the year, his 4th as an Atlanta Brave, and it's 2-1.
There's no doubt about that once it left the bat.
Well, an awful lot of power, too, and that's the last thing you want to do after the double play ball to get your club back in the dugout. To not come out and give something. Not a bad pitch from De La Rosa. You see it down in the very bottom of the strike zone, but Gonzalez, very good low ball hitter.
His career high in home runs, 23. That slider's in there. To finish the thought on Eric Young Jr., Richie Dower thought his hands were just a little bit softer, a little bit quieter since his return.
More relaxed, too. When you come up the first time, you're going to be a little nervous, and when you're nervous, it makes your hands a little harder.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jeff. You were an infield instructor for the Cubs. You were a middle infielder your whole career. How do you get softer hands if you've got hard hands to begin with?
Well, that is a good question. If they're hard, you can get them a little bit softer by your footwork, but you can't go from real hard to real soft hands. You're kind of born with what you've got.
You don't become Omar Vizquel overnight?
No, nobody can do that. But what happens, though, is now you're more relaxed and you understand the playing and your positioning better. So all of a sudden, things come a little bit more natural to you.
This is chopped foul by Melky Cabrera. Ball and 2 strikes.
Well, when you do have a little bit of that syndrome of having the hard hands, as guys say in baseball, you hope the other facets of the game override that to get you on the field. Well, obviously his speed, the ability to lead off in games, that's what's going to get him in the lineup more than it is his defense.
2-2.
see what the umpire did. I love third base umpire around Culper. Ball shot out to him, and it came to him, and he acted like he was going to throw it in the stands and put it in the back pocket, and they all started doing it.
And this should be an easy play for Eric Young Jr. In the inning, Alex Gonzalez touches up Jorge De La Rosa for a home run. It's 2-1. Road Ahead is brought to you by E470. Quick, easy, and available to anyone. Test drive it today. Rockies and Braves tomorrow afternoon will conclude this series. And then after a day off Thursday, the Dodgers come calling. Seth Smith will lead off in the second inning against Derek Lowe. He takes one high and tight, ball one. Rockies got two in the first on the Cargo two-run home run. It's a ball and a strike.
Well, Seth Smith's going to get an opportunity now with Brad Hopp gone to play every day, a lot against these right-handers, and it's got to get better than it has since the break. A .188 average since the break to 87 prior to the break. Still big numbers, though, when you get beyond that seventh inning. Ooh, that's a tough call.
I thought he held up.
I did, too.
But Lance Barksdale's in charge. He didn't think he held up, so it's 1-2.
Look on the overhead. Let's look at the sky cam. He didn't go around. Lance, you need to ask for help. Up here, not down there.
That always gets me. I don't understand why they don't just ask for some help, because they're trying to watch the ball and the swing all at the same time.
You know, and I had an umpire tell me one time that if they wait real long to ask for help, it's automatic save. Very rarely will they ring him up if they wait around a while.
Who wants tacos, fans? When the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Taco Bell. 2-2 on Smith. Stewart behind him. An emergency hack there by Smith to keep the at-bat alive. It's text to booth night. Good question. Did Brad Hopp get picked up by another team yet? He is officially a free agent today. And I know he's in discussions with several different teams. Probably find out very soon where he'll land. That is strike three. First strikeout of the ball game for Lowe, and that'll bring up Stewart.
They're going to pound that inside corner, positioning at the plate, run the tailback on him, and he got it. Fought off a lot of pitches away, and on the overhead camera, you kind of see maybe that pitch was a little bit in.
That's on the inside corner on Stewart. Hey, Jeff, I once heard a hitting coach say that he reprimanded a player for when he asked him where he was looking for a pitch, and he said down the middle. And he said, Why would you do that at this level? Only mistake's going to land down the middle. You know, when you get ahead in the count, look in a certain location, in or out. You buy into that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm looking zones. I'm going to think he's going to either work me in or work me away. And maybe the first pitch of the at-bat that you would sit there and go, okay, first pitch I'm going to look for maybe one center cut ball, and then after that I got to go inside or outside. Or then I start looking at maybe a changeup or a slider.
Well, I think that's where scouting reports really change things around for you and help. It really does. Good coverage by Lowe on a ball fielded at second base. And the reason I say that, history will tell you how Derek Lowe's going to work most hitters. Whether you're left-handed, right-handed. Now, there's going to be exceptions to power hitters. But I really believe that, you know, you look at his history of where he works guys, and then you look to that zone and try to have your success out of it.
Might be a little bit different, as you're alluding to, George, with the rookie.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. When I say veteran guy, and then you get a rookie of flamethrowers thrown out there, you don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
You might throw it behind your head. See, this is what pitchers try to get hitters to do. And that is Olivo's first swings at pitches. He's fifth in the National League right now. 38% of swings at the first pitch. Now, a lot of guys are successful doing that. Most recent Rocky that was very successful, Larry Walker, swinging at first pitch. Who do you think takes more pitches of baseball, Drew, than anybody?
Helton, I know in the National League, sees 4.4 plus.
Jamie Carroll is the lowest at 6.6, according to Doug. So we're late on the hip.
He swings at 6.6%. You're talking about first pitch swing?
First pitch swing.
Yeah. 1-2 on Olivo. Chop foul. And near the top of the list, the former Brave every year, Jeff Francoeur.
He's like got ants all over his hands. He can't wait to get the bat out of his hands.
Yeah, 47% of the time he fires at the first pitch, which always amazes me when somebody leaves a cookie down the middle to him.
Why not throw him a slider every time?
And a ground ball to short. 1-2-3, second inning for Derek Lowe. Rockies 2 and the Braves 1. History is brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results. Well, last August 24th, it's a night most Rockies fans will never forget. In 14 innings, Ryan Spilborg's walk-off grand slam. The Rockies knock off the San Francisco Giants. That was, for me, one of the great moments in Rockies history.
You know what I liked about that? He hit the home run, everything's great, but to look at the emotions Jim Tracy and Tommy Reynolds showed in the dugout, Major League Manager, like little kids and won the city championship.
David Ross at the plate. He takes high, ball one. Ross will be back in Atlanta next year, backing up Brian McCann. One out. That'll bring up Derek Lowe. Hey, let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. This is pretty good. Billy Wagner, yesterday in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I'm retiring. I don't know how to say it in a politically correct way. Until I don't show up next year, nobody's going to believe me. Brett Favre's messing it up for everybody. And the reason that some people were questioning whether or not Billy would come back is he just had his 30th save the other day. And with that particular appearance, a part of his contract kicked in for next year that would pay him $6.5 million. But he says it doesn't matter. He's going home. And Derek Lowe has himself a base hit.
Well, he's got a big farm in Virginia. The kids are starting to get older. He's accomplished an awful lot of what he wanted to do in baseball, and he's just going to go home. I started thinking of other guys like that. Jeff Shaw with the LA Dodgers, when he was closing games, he just walked away from it. Said he'd had enough. Went to the house.
He had elbow problems too, so maybe that's contributing. Said, you know what? I want to go away while I'm still healthy again.
Yeah, you can understand that. Omar Infante, base hit his first time up. Takes low, ball one. Omar,
well, you know, he had the time
with a 13-game hitting streak now.
You know, Jeff, he had the Tommy John surgery and then came back from that.
Right.
So that's been like a year and a half ago, and I think it's just, well, you just want to go home, raise the family.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Now he's all healthy, and he just want to take a chance on maybe blowing it out again.
Career best hitting streak for Infante. He has 339 plate appearances. You need 502 to qualify for the batting title, which means he would need 4.43 plate appearances per game the rest of the way to qualify. That, even hitting leadoff, that's hard to do. Two balls, two strikes on Infante. Is Reynolds strictly going to be coming from the pen, or do you see him in the rotation in the future? Also, where was he drafted from, in what round? Matt Reynolds is a reliever.
Yeah, he's, you know, and the difference between him, he's kind of like Joe Beimel. He can run it up 91, 92 miles an hour. He's a guy that can also, with a nasty slider, help get around some right-handed bats in the lineup. He's a strike thrower. So there's a lot of good things for him coming out of it.
In the air, Dexter Fowler in center. He went to Austin Peay in Tennessee. He was drafted in the 20th round of the 07 draft. He took the cap to Billy Schmidt. His group of scouts for finding a really nice arm in the 20th round.
What's pretty special about it, too, is he's the first guy from that draft class to make it to the big leagues.
Yeah, how about that? 2 outs. Jason Hayward, who struck out his first time facing De La Rosa. What's interesting about De La Rosa's line in Los Angeles the other day. There's a strike. He went 7 innings. He allowed only 2 runs. Gave up just 5 hits. He walked 4. That'll happen with Jorge, but he struck out only 3. You're used to De La Rosa striking out a big number. 2 on Hayward.
Further that text on a little bit farther. Matt Reynolds in the minor leagues, 172 career appearances, 0 starts. I mean, he's going to be a bullpen guy.
Every once in a while, you'll see a college reliever get converted the other way. The most or the biggest name I can think of recently that falls into that category, the former Rocky Josh Fogg, who was a closer in Florida. Swung on and missed. Hayward gone again. And that's all for the Braves in the third inning. Rockies leading it 2-1. Home run. And welcome back upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Jorge De La Rosa throwing the ball pretty well.
Throwing the ball very well today. And, I thought he's getting some ground ball double plays when he needed to, some good strikeouts when he needed to. He's handled Jason Hayward. Huey's had kind of a bird's eye view today of everything.
Yeah, it's been nice down here, folks.
Jeff snuck behind home plate.
Don't tell anybody, okay?
Eating nachos.
They're underneath the seat right now. I have to do it in between innings.
Hey,
no, I'm not eating
grab
down here, guys.
Grab a napkin. You have a little
right,
bit
is
of
it right here
corner.
or right there, so I can't tell?
That side. There
okay.
you go. Jeff will be down there throughout the evening. De La Rosa will lead things off against Derek Lowe in the third. In there for strike one. Rockies got 3 hits in the first. Eric Young doubled. Gonzalez hit a 2-run home run. Tulowitzki had a swinging bunt for a hit. And then Helton hit a drive to deep right that Hayward caught. Tulowitzki forgot how many outs there were. He was already to third base. Hayward lobbed it in, and there was a double play at first base. 1-2-3 second for Derek Lowe. This is slowly hit to Lee.
Don't forget the Los Angeles Dodgers are coming to town this weekend. That's right. They'll be in this weekend for a 3-game series. So make sure you pick up your tickets August 27th through the 29th. 1-800-388-ROCK if you want to order it by phone or call on Rockies.com by your computer.
Eric Young Jr. got the night started out right with a long double left center field. Probably would have been a triple, but it was those balls bounced off the track and over the wall. Here's a bunt attempt for a ground rule double. Jr. playing every day, starting every day since his return to the big leagues. Coming off that stress fracture in his leg. That's a strike, and his starts have been split between left field and second base. Last couple of nights it's come in second. When Lowe works down there, he's tough. This is loop to left. This is going to drop. So EY's 2 for 2. With one out, his wheels are aboard for Dexter Fowler.
Trying to pitch the same pitch exactly that he did to Seth Smith. That's that take back slide sinker. Look how that ball's going to try to run back. Actually gets it on the knuckles, but EY's strength, a lot stronger than what people give him credit for, is able to whip this ball into left field for a base hit.
Now Fowler steps out.
Coming into the year, Cody Ross, very good arm. He had thrown out 58 would-be base stealers in his career. 93 and 163 attempts. He's picked off 18 guys. Nice challenge for he and Lowe to hold Eric Young at first.
Lowe is 9th among active pitchers in wins with the 152. Hudson 6th with 162 wins. Pitch out, nothing on. Huey, you like to go right after the pitch out, don't you?
I really do, and but you have to be careful with Derek Lowe because he's very quick to the plate after a pitch out typically. If he doesn't throw over, he'll come set and then really go home right away.
Well, the other side of that, too, is he is a strike thrower. So sometimes when you get strike throwers like a Lowe that don't walk people, you know, I've seen guys back it up. I mean, they'll go to another pitch out right after that because managers trust and believe in the fact that he's going to pound the strike zone.
This is punched to left, and it's foul. Outside, 2-2. Fowler at the plate with Gonzalez on deck.
Drew, I was going to say, I'd look for Eric Young to go on this pitch. Pretty good running count. You're not going to want to go behind if you're Derek Lowe to 3-2.
There he goes, and it's hit off the end of the bat, foul. Time for another text. Who is faster, Eric Young Jr. or Eric Young Sr.?
Well,
if you put it in the present, Eric Young Jr.
Yeah, I'll take Jr.
I think, and we've asked Eric Sr. about this. Junior's faster. Straight out speed.
I played with Senior, and just watching Senior and Junior run, I'd take Junior.
Senior would take Junior. Without this starting to sound like Laurel and Hardy. And Junior would take Senior in a race.
Who's on first? Junior.
Yes. Not for long, though.
He might take off again. He's running so fast, he had to tuck his jersey back in.
Junior not going, and this ball's hit pretty well to right field, but Hayward's going to be able to backtrack and make the catch. Second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez.
Going to get pitched in his first at bat from low, but a better job of swinging at a breaking ball down in the dirt. Sprint next door, Joe Simpson, who does the announcing for the Braves, said, did not anticipate watching your left fielder go down and get a slider and hitting it 500 feet to right center off the ground. He said he's pretty good.
You're talking about Chris Young the last couple of days down in Arizona. He was the first to go 20-20 this year, and now Cargo the second in Big League Baseball to go 20-20. There goes EY, and Ross's throw skips into center field, and Eric Young Jr. to third base. Well, speed didn't only swipe the bag, Huey. It forced Ross to rush his throw, and you could see it. You're 35 feet behind him.
Yeah, he didn't even get his feet really set or turned to where he wanted to throw. He was so concerned about getting rid of the baseball so quickly, caused him to have his third error. His feet, watch his feet. They don't get quite closed, and when you don't do that, the ball has a tendency to run on you a little bit, and that ball just ran right back into Eric Young Jr. Goes into center field. Now he's at third base.
1 strike count on Gonzalez. 2-1 Colorado. Up and in. And this is where you put heavy heat on the opposition starter, because he looks in the on-deck circle and he didn't want any part of the guy at the plate or the guy on deck. This is fouled off.
Well, not every time are they going to be successful, but more times than not, they're going to be. And that's why they're hitting a 3 and 4 hole. You know, I think when you have the success that Gonzalez has, that everybody expects, you know, the good's going to happen every time he walks up to the plate. Same for Tulowitzki.
No, we know, you know, if you hit above 300 with runners in scoring position, that's outstanding. It means you're carrying the bat back to the dugout 65–70% of the time in a great year. You learn a great deal of mental toughness in this game. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Derek Lowe strikes out Carlos Gonzalez. So Gargo got it the first time. Derek Lowe wins this matchup. 2-1. Report brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Once again, checked in with Alana Rizzo.
Guys, Chris Iannetta and Brian McCann were catcher teammates on Team USA in 2009 during the World Baseball Classic. And I talked to Chris earlier today. I said, tell me what you think about Brian McCann. And he said, in one word, awesome. I said, can you elaborate on that? He said, he is one of the guys that I've met in this game that loves the game more than anybody else. He's so energetic. He said, when you're playing against him, you don't necessarily notice it because, of course, he's so focused on what he's doing behind the plate. But as a teammate, you can really see just how much he loves the game. And he went on to say, you know what? He's not known as one of the best defensive catchers in terms of throwing guys out on base. He said, but he calls a great game. He can flat out rake. And one of my best friends now, I'm glad I had a chance to play with him, guys.
That's a great experience. And one of the neat things about the World Baseball Classic, guys from other teams get to come together. Martin Prado hit into a 1-6-3 double play. Here's the 0-1, and he goes and gets another high fastball. This one's going to die in the glove of Gonzalez, but it was somewhat reminiscent, Jeff, of the ball he hit out last night. We started to talk about it in his first at bat. It was the conversation around the batting cage today for both teams. How he got on top of that.
I have no idea, because that's a difficult ball, no matter you're right-handed, left-handed, but he was able to stand up almost and take that top hand. That last pitch that he flew out to left field, that ball wasn't quite high enough for him.
Derek Lee singled sharply through the left side his first time. Swung on and missed at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, the longtime hitting coach Terry Pendleton of the Braves, we were chatting about it, and he said it's really remarkable how he does that, but he works on it. He has Terry, when he's doing flips with him or soft toss, he'll make sure he does about 10 or 12 where Pendleton's literally throwing it up near his eyes and forcing him to stay on top of it, Huey.
Well, and that's why he was able to do it, because if you don't practice it, there's no way you're going to be able to perform it at game speed. But if he says, okay, throw it up there, I'm going to try to get on top of it, you see the results. That was filthy right there.
Yeah. Derek Lee didn't have much of a chance. That's strikeout number 3. 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Back foot slider, much like right-handers to left-handers. It's exactly what De La Rosa did with this slider. He threw it down and in behind the foot, but look where the ball appeared on the Hundycam to a hitter. It was starting on the outside part of the plate and broke all the way down into that back foot area and got the swing and miss.
That had such tight rotation on it, George.
Here's Matt Diaz. He finds his way in the lineup a lot against lefties. And a year ago, he hit over 400 against lefties, which was the second highest average in the game against left-handers, to David Wright of the Mets. Here's the 0-1. 0-2. This year, you see the splits again favoring his work against lefties, but not nearly as dramatic as in 2009. Here's the 0-2. They want the fastball up.
He has a grip on his bat, much like Julio Franco used to, where that bottom finger is off the knob. Julio used to, because he broke his finger, used to wrap it around there, just like Matt is.
He went around, and 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th for De La Rosa. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. The Rockies ahead 2-1. De La Rosa and Derek Lowe hooking up. AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. By Dex One, marketing solutions, business results. And by Hyundai Uncensored, real people, real comments on the 2011 Hyundai Sonata. Visit your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Troy Tulowitzki swings at the first pitch, bounces it to Prado. One pitch, one out in the fourth inning. And that'll bring up Todd Helton. Helton hit a line drive to fairly deep right field his first time up. 4 for 4 last night. A good swing in his first at bat tonight. Here's our AT&T trivia question. Who are the 4 current managers with over 1,200 hits in their playing careers? Ball one. Helton's average at 257 beginning the night, the highest it's been since June. Two and one. With Bobby Cox retiring after the season, who is in line for the managerial job for the Braves? Mario in Westminster wants to know. Well, Freddie Gonzalez has often been mentioned as the heir apparent, even in fact when he was still managing the Florida Marlins. He was relieved of those duties a couple of months ago. He worked under Bobby. Here's ball 4. He's been part of the Braves family, came up in the Braves family, if you will, as a coach. And we'll see what happens, but if there had to be a favorite, from everything you hear, it would be Freddie Gonzalez. I was talking, Jeff, to somebody about that within the organization, the Braves organization today, and he's not a decision maker. He said, I would be shocked if it's not, but who knows?
Sure. I'll throw out another name for you, too, that's been in the organization since being fired as a manager, Jim Fregosi. Works as a special assistant for John Schuerholz, and Frank Grinn is one of their major league scouts.
You know, a long shot might be Terry Pendleton.
He's been there a long time.
He's been there a long time, Hugh, but he's been looked over by an awful lot of clubs where he's been interviewed previously and did not get the job. And I think once you get a lot of interviews and you don't get jobs, it makes it kind of difficult. Another guy that's fallen into that category, Jamie Quirk. He's a bullpen coach with Houston. He's interviewed 5 or 6 times for different jobs.
Let's look at the respect factor for Terry Pendleton.
This is a fly ball to center field. Drifting a little bit, and the catch is made by Melky Cabrera.
You know, the challenge for whoever takes it over is to keep the equation going. Don't come in and try to change something that Bobby's done, John Schuerholz has done. Try to stay with what they've done to make this a successful organization.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And just to mention again, Terry Pendleton, people have immense respect for him. He's well liked, good guy. And at some point, hopefully, he gets an opportunity. But George, to your point, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You want to keep going what Bobby Cox had. This is bobbled, and the throw to first is wild. And moving from second to third is Helton on the throwing error by Omar Infante.
Twelfth error for Infante, deflected off of the glove of Derek Lowe, going back up to the middle. Right in and got the springs in the glove, popped right out of it on Infante. That ball ricocheted off something, and he was able to get it and just hit the spring and bounced off. Helton on the move, didn't have a chance there. Derek Lee tried to stretch to catch it. Right up into the palm or the heel of the glove and popped out. Make him pay for it.
That's why it's nice that Stewart actually did move up, which forces them to pitch to Olivo.
Yeah, he slipped. He was going to go to second base, and then when he hit first, he kind of slipped going around, fell down, made the wise decision to come back.
0-1 on Miguel. The double-edged sword again. Whoever follows Bobby Cox, we want to keep it going, but you also have to have your own personality. Be who you are. It's going to be those things that you have to balance delicately. 2 strikes on Olivo. And the slider got him. So the Rockies leave 2 aboard in the 4th. We're locked in at 2-1 as we go to inning number 5 at Coors Field. Gonzalez, Melky, Cabrera, and David Ross as we take a look at our AT&T trivia question. Who are the 4 current managers with over 1,200 hits in their playing careers? Leading the way, Dusty Baker with the Cincinnati Reds. He had 1,981 hits. Ozzie Guillen over 1,700. Kirk Gibson over 1,500. And actually Joe Torre's leading the way as he had more than 2,300 hits.
There's one other guy to be on the list if he wouldn't have retired. Pinella.
That's right. Who had well over 2,000 hits. De La Rosa's curveball misses. Ball 1 on Alex Gonzalez. Gonzalez took him deep. For the only Atlanta run. That was in the 2nd inning.
Fastball, I thought more of a line drive. He got after it. It's down. It just drops the head of the bat on it. This again showing a lot of strength for a shortstop. You mentioned it, 23 home runs a year ago.
No, a couple years ago.
A couple of years ago, sitting with 21 right now. 4 with Atlanta.
Yeah, last year he was coming back off of a knee injury that kept him out all of the 2008 season. 2-1 on Gonzalez.
Or he tried to quick pitch him a little bit.
Two and two. Chop foul. Now the text I read online the other night that the Rockies had not ruled out bringing Hawk back. What did that mean, and has anyone picked him up yet? Clay in Wyoming. We had that question earlier. Nobody's picked up Brad as of yet, but he wasn't truly a free agent until today. Swung on and missed. In terms of what you read online, You know, I think Brad wants to go somewhere where he's going to be in a position he can get a lot of at-bats the rest of this year and show people that he could play every day still, he believes. A lot of people believe that he could still play every day for a number of teams in the big leagues.
He's 31 years old. It's not like he's 38, 39 at the back end of a career.
5 strikeouts in the ball game now for De La Rosa. He has struck out 4 of the last 5. Melky Cabrera, ground ball to second, pushes a bunt. Helton, oh, that's pretty, out at first base. Helton with the glove scoop to De La Rosa, who caught it in motion.
It's all about doing the PFPs. That's right. Pitchers practice in the mornings. You see this ball pushed and bunt. You work on this a lot. And you work off of Todd Helton. When a pitcher can't get to it, Helton goes to the baseball. You are obligated to get to the bag as quickly as you can. The glove feed from Todd Helton on the money to De La Rosa to get the out at first base. See, I like what right now going on in the middle of the mound, too. I like this. And the reason I say that is because Olivo's going to go out and let De La Rosa catch his breath here for a minute before going on to face David Ross.
What communication, though, because down here at field level, you could hear Todd say, "I've got it," before he flips it. So that allows De La Rosa to go directly towards the bag and then make the flip and get there before Cabrera.
David Ross grounded to short his first time. 2 outs, nobody on. And he grounds to third this time. That's picked up by Stewart on the move. Right on the money. Pretty play by Ian Stewart. Boy, he could pick him over at third. Middle of 5, Rockies 2, and the Atlanta Braves 1. Cell Energy fun fact. This is neat. Look at this graphic. This was in USA Today this morning. Pete Rose had 4,256 hits. He won 426 games as a manager. And then next on the list, when you compile hits and wins, you put them together, is Joe Torre. People forget Frank Robinson won over 1,000 games as a big league manager. Lou Piniella, I had the hits wrong. I thought he had more than 2,000 hits. It was 1,705. Joe Cronin. Red Schoendienst had over 2,400 hits. De La Rosa at the plate. Showed you Dusty Baker. Mel Ott, the Hall of Famer, tried managing for a while. And Leo DeRocher, far more famous, fellas, as a manager than as a player, but he had 1,320 big league hits.
That's a lot of big league hits.
Yeah, and let's not leave out Felipe Alou, who is the mentor to Jim Tracy. He's the first guy, when you ask Jim Tracy who helped mold the kind of manager he is, he always mentions first and foremost Felipe Alou, who worked for in Montreal. And Huey, a guy you know well.
Well, yeah, he was my second manager in pro ball. He was down in the Florida State League in West Palm Beach, and that's just where he liked to be. He could fish in the morning, teach in the afternoon, and I learned so much from that man. Felipe just played the game hard, play it the right way, and let the chips fall where they may, basically. But he was a very good teacher of baseball.
Yeah. Kind of just a fatherly type of figure to everybody.
Great description.
And congratulations to Jim Tracy. Last night was his 700th win as a big league manager. He's going to have a lot more in his career. Very bright man. 1-0 on EY. 2 for 2 tonight. A double and a single. And he's 3 for 3.
EY is one of those guys that's kind of like the gnat that's out on the front porch that just keeps bugging you and it keeps swatting it away. And it's like, as a starting pitcher, you're like, okay, I'll throw him a sinker away, line drive. All right, jam him inside, boots it to left. Let's go up and away. Oh, he went into left center for a double. It's like, you can't figure the guy out. For Derek Lowe, he got his dad out, or tried to. Now he's trying to get Junior out.
EY a stolen base back in the 3rd inning. His 9th of the year. He's been caught just 1 time. His success rate in limited time this year much better than in limited time a year ago.
A lot of that, he got picked off at first base. Wasn't so much getting thrown out at second. It was the ability to get picked off at first. That comes with time, maturity, learning the opposition, learning what they do.
This bunt in a great spot. Will they get Fowler? No. And Ross bluffs the throw to second. That would have been interesting because there was nobody there, but there were 3 guys covering third, Huey.
Well, they want to make sure Eric Young doesn't beat them there, so better have 3 than 0. I just like to see this from Dexter Fowler. I can't remember the last time we've actually seen him lay a bunt down the third base line for a base hit. We've seen him try to drag it with him towards first, but just drop one down there. It's such a difficult play. When you're able to catch it off the end of the bat with the sinker ball pitcher, you couldn't roll it out there into a better position than what Dexter Fowler just did.
And I would be alert as both base runners, meaning Dexter and EY, only because with Gonzalez up, and I know he got him out his last time, he struck him out, but this is your RBI guy. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ross try to help his pitcher out with a pickoff somehow. He's had 18 in his career.
One strike count on Gonzalez, 2-run home run on a pitch maybe below the knees on a 1-2 count back in the 1st inning.
Derek Lowe very quick to the plate that time, trying to vary what he does to the plate area with EY out at second. A lot of the majority of RBIs have come for Gonzalez. With less than 2 outs, he's hit .375.
And a high fly ball to left center field. Melky Cabrera with EY tagging, and the throw behind, and Fowler's going to slide in safely. So 2 in scoring position for Tulowitzki.
And a throw on line at second, you may have had a shot at Dexter Fowler, but it's a heads-up play by both base runners, utilizing their speed. High fly ball. I thought Cabrera let the ball get on the backside of his head too much, to be honest with you, Jeff. It didn't get good running position on the baseball. He didn't circle it. He went straight to it. See, he catches the ball over the back of his head, and then he's got to take the crow hops instead of getting in position to catch the baseball.
And remember earlier in the ball game when he caught the fly ball with Seth Smith, he did the same thing where he kind of drifted and didn't get to that spot to get behind the throw. He drifted towards it.
Outside on Troy Tulowitzki, 1-0. Tulowitzki, an infield single in the 1st. He grounded to 3rd in the 4th inning.
That was a smart adjustment from Troy because that swinging bunt he had was on a slider. The first pitch that he swung at the next time, the ground ball, was a slider, and so was that one.
2-0. Tulowitzki hitting .313 with runners in scoring position. Six for 22 lifetime against Derek Lowe.
They've only had 14 wild pitches as a staff this year. Lowe has 2 of those 14.
3-0 with Helton on deck. Yesterday in a similar situation, Carlos Gonzalez, the green light on 3-0, and he doubled against Tim Hudson to drive in a run. Tulowitzki may have had the green light there. We will never know. 3-1. You would assume he would.
Yeah, I think he just thought he might throw him a 3-0 slider, though.
Tracy hoping for that big 2-out hit. Ball 4, and they're loaded up for help.
They got to turn himself into a pretty good pitching coach, Roger McDowell. But he's down with Atlanta. A lot of people worried about Leo Mazzoni when he left there and went to the Baltimore Orioles. Has since been fired. Who would be the next guy to take over? McDowell's done a wonderful job. Even with the older guys like a Lowe and a Hudson, putting them in a position. Derek Lowe has labored. He's only had 1 clean inning this entire game. That was in the 2nd inning, where he retired 3 in a row. You can see the number of pitches are starting to mount here in the 5th. Total of 80 so far in the ball game.
Here we go. Bases loaded for help. And he slices that one foul. Really trying to stay inside that sinker and drive it toward left or left center field.
Todd, 250 this year with the bases loaded. The Rockies, last in the major leagues, have hit 196 with the bases loaded.
And to me, and to a lot of people, that's mind-boggling. On the corner, it's 0-2.
Fastball, outer half of the plate. It'll catch enough of it on the 4th strike zone. It doesn't agree with Lance Barksdale.
Helton 16 for 46. Good numbers lifetime against Derek Lowe. And a broken bat, soft liner, gloved by Omar Infante. So the Rockies leave them loaded in the 5th. They lead it by a run.
One lucky Rockies fan will have 40 seconds to answer really true or false.
De La Rosa throwing the ball very well. FSN Rocky Mountain, you know, is your home for exclusive Rockies coverage. So here's what you do. Text FSNRM to 95323 to receive the latest Rockies updates right to your phone. 8 in a row retired by De La Rosa as Derek Lowe will lead off in the 6th inning. Lowe has one of the 4 hits tonight for Atlanta. Soft line drive just over the head of Eric Young back in the 3rd inning. De La Rosa has struck out 5.
Normally, when you strike out 5, 1 an inning, your pitch count will be up a little bit higher. Very low, just 15 balls thrown through 5 innings, make it 16.
You repair that chip in your windshield by calling Safelight Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. You know what he's got more of tonight than we've seen in a while? Ground ball outs.
A few ground ball outs, that's right. The double play ball's been his best friend.
And he's 3-0 now on Derek Lowe.
Just talked about that a minute ago. 62 total pitches, just 17 balls.
And last 2 times out, he's been outstanding in controlling the pitch count. 3-1. 35 starts since the beginning of June last year. De La Rosa's 20-5. Anthony is 3-2. It's at 20-5, 20-7. And he misses. So he walks Derek Lowe leading off the 6th inning. That's his first walk of the ball game.
Follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com at bat, featuring highlights and a whole lot more. One of the cardinal sins as a pitcher, walking the pitcher, but more of a sin than anything is to lead off the inning walking. You had it set up just like you want for the 1 out.
Yeah, and in a 1-run game. Omar Infante, an infield hit and a fly ball to center field. Out goes Olivo to the mound. Well, Infante's been steady. 392 at home. That's terrific. 323 out on the road. Two and nothing. Two balls and 2 strikes on Infante with Jason Hayward on deck.
He's closed right now, and he stays pretty close throughout his whole at bat. The front side doesn't open a whole lot.
The Tigers kept waiting for him to become a big star. It didn't happen in Detroit uniform, and he was traded to Atlanta, and he has blossomed this year. Two on the ground to third. To second for 1 on the first. Double play.
Glenn Hubbard really felt like Helton cheated coming off the bat because he knew he had pretty good speed coming up the line. And that's why he did it. And when Todd goes to the baseball, watch how he makes the big stride. The argument Hubbard had was that he had pulled his back foot off of the bag before the ball actually got into his mitt. You see a toe still on it. Foot, that's a good call by Ed Rapuano. Outstanding call.
You know, visually it does look that way when he moves the foot that quickly, but clearly he was still on the bag. Hayward takes a strike.
Down here at field level, it looked like he just cheated, and I can understand why Glenn Hubbard was saying,
Hayward has struck out twice against De La Rosa. Won't strike out here, but he's going to ground out. De La Rosa walked. The leadoff man, Derek Lowe, no problem. Still sees the minimum in the 6th. He's pitched a beautiful game. 2-1 Rockies. Time for the Coors Light freeze cam. Look at this pick here. That was in the tough play. The momentum going toward the third base line, and Stewart making like Troy Tulowitzki, just flipping it sidearm. Plenty on it, right on the money. Good looking play from Ian Stewart. It was our Frostbrewed Coors Light freeze cam. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Rockies holding a 2-1 lead. It'll be Seth Smith, Ian Stewart, Miguel Olivo in the 6th. Only one runner for Atlanta has touched second base, and that was Alex Gonzalez when he was trotting around the bases back in the 2nd inning after hitting a home run. Smith is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to center field. Smith 1 for 12 lifetime against Derek Lowe, but here is the one. It was back in April at Turner Field. Hanging slider, and he hit it out. And he has number 2. To the second deck over the Rockies bullpen. 15th big fly of the year for Smith. That was flat crushed.
Now that ball he hit out in Atlanta was a high slider. I want to see where this fastball was if it was up, because Lowe had worked him down in this entire ball game, and he'd struck him out in the 2nd. Got a fly ball in the 4th. I want to see what he did with this pitch, if he left it up a little bit, because I think he was trying to come back inside with the fastball. So that ball's up. That's above the knees and above the thighs, not where you want to be for a sinker ball, and Smith just crushed this thing into right center field.
Now Ian Stewart.
We're going to honeycam with this pitch. You can see it starting to rotate down and away from Smith, and he just caught it on the sweet part of the bat.
16th home run allowed this year by Derek Lowe.
I like the show of emotion a little bit from Seth Smith. Everything that he hadn't been hitting, in a little bit of a slump, and he kind of flipped his bat a little bit, and that's just not like him. But you just tell the little bit of the anger, emotion just was able to be let out.
He was 3 for his prior 42 when he hit that home run. You can understand the emotional response.
Right here.
A ton of emotion.
No, but that's a lot for Seth.
Yep. Stewart with a home run cut. No baseball. It's 0-2. Stewart hit a home run to dead center field last night. Stewart and Smith, very good friends. Sitting next to each other in the lineup tonight and last night. Good job staying off that pitch, Huey.
Well, you're looking for the ball. As a hitter, you're thinking it's going to be down into the zone, so you got to see it out of the hand early and recognize it, and Ian did.
And again, Rockies up 3-1 on Derek Lowe, who has a distinction along with former Brave John Smoltz and Dennis Eckersley, only pitchers in the history of the game with a 21 season and a 40 save season. Lowe threw a no-hitter back in 2002. He's accomplished a lot of things in baseball. And if you go back to 2002, the only guy who's made more starts in the big league since then, Barry Zito.
Well, Flaherty's warming up down to bullpen, the left-hander. There's the youngster.
Rockies saw him last night.
Good inning, had a strikeout in last night's ball game.
Another 2-2, and it's chopped foul again. Hey, we haven't checked our Quest high-speed pitch yet tonight. It's brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Rockies. Derek Lowe has touched 91. Jorge De La Rosa checks in at 95. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Rockies. 1 run on 4 hits for Atlanta. And this is on the ground to second. Omar Infante will throw out Stewart. That's the first out in the 6th inning. With Miguel Olivo coming up, we will go downstairs again, check in with Alana.
Drew, I decided to come up here to the rock pile to see some of these fans up here. And you know what? I wanted to talk to Jim Tracy about Jason Hayward, the Braves right fielder. Talked to him earlier about him during the ball game, and I said, you know what? Who does he remind you most of in terms of the way that he approaches the plate because of the success he's had in such a limited amount of time? He said he really reminds me of Cliff Floyd, the same long arms, the same long legs, the way that he approaches every single at-bat. He went on to say, you know, he needs a little bit more time in the big leagues because of those big legs. But he said, you know what? This kid is special. He's already done a lot for this Atlanta Braves organization, guys.
Yeah, nearly 60 RBIs and near the top in a lot of the rookie categories. There's an opportunity to win the National League Rookie of the Year. There's Jaime Garcia with the Cardinals, another of those candidates.
His best friend in baseball, he was the #1 pick of the Braves in 07. The #2 pick was a Californian by the name of Freddie Freeman. And Freeman is a first baseman at Gwinnett County, the AAA affiliate for Atlanta. They're both of similar build, 6'5", around 230 pounds. Freeman is a big-time power hitter, and because Gwinnett County's less than an hour from Turner Field, those two still room together. And one guy goes to Turner Field, and his buddy goes to AAA. But you know what? Next year, they're probably going to have to make a place for his close friend.
Well, there's a good chance of that. I mean, there was even some thought process where they were able to get a hold of Derek Lee was to bring Freeman up and put him here at first base in the big leagues. He's put up big numbers, big power, big raw power. 18 home runs, 95 RBIs in Rome, Georgia. Very big ballpark with high humidity. Strikeout of Olivo. Second time tonight he was able to get him.
2 outs. That'll bring up De La Rosa. Another text. Have they set a date for the makeup game for the rainout against the Phillies at the beginning of the year? Scott, this is really good that you asked this question. That's Scott in Lafayette. Because They have set a date. In fact, it is a week from Thursday, and it makes for a crazy trip for the Rockies. You know what? We're going to have to tell you when we come back. We'll tell you all the particulars when we come back on that ball game against the Phillies, the makeup. Rockies get a home run from Seth Smith. They're up 3-1. Look back. First inning, Carlos Gonzalez goes down trying to hit a fly ball. He hit a fly ball all right. It went out of the ballpark by about 50 feet with a man aboard. Eric Young, 2-0 Colorado. Then Alex Gonzalez in the second inning would hit his 21st home run of the year. His first 17 came with the Toronto Blue Jays. Sixth inning, Seth Smith, his first home run since July 26th. It was a bomb. Second deck, high over the Rockies bullpen. His 15th jack of the year. That's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Rockies up 3-1 in the 7th. Drew Goodman, along with George Frazier, Jeff Houston, and Alana Rizzo. Here is the official word on that makeup game with Philadelphia. It'll be a week from Thursday, and we'll be on the air beginning at 4:30 in the afternoon. The ball game is set for 5:10 right here at Coors Field. So the Rockies will play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in San Francisco. They'll fly home to play the ball game against the Phils. They'll start it a little bit earlier because right after the game they'll fly to San Diego to begin a 3-game set over the weekend against the Padres. It will be a busy week for Colorado. On the outside corner for a strike.
Typically what you do in that situation too is you fly the starting pitcher home Wednesday morning versus trying to send him on that late night Wednesday flight. That way they at least get a good night's rest.
Well, one of the things that the Rockies are doing a little bit differently on that trip, George, because ordinarily right after the team plays, they'll get on the plane and go to the next city, and it can be late at night. They're going to wait till the next morning because they figure they'll get a better night's sleep in San Francisco because you're also losing an hour.
And I agree with that.
And fly Thursday morning, basically get off the plane and head to the ballpark to play a ball game. Be Colorado for a relative handful of hours. 1-2 on Prado, get fouled. Oh. So close. Here's the 1-2 from De La Rosa. He's got a beautiful pitch. Struck out a tough man to get, Martin Prado, and that is punch out number 6 tonight for De La Rosa.
On top, big time on top of this breaking ball that he gets down, that hard breaking ball. And then sometimes You know, you appear to throw it very hard in the 80 to 88 mile an hour range.
Coming out of
strikeouts on that.
George, coming out of the hand, that looked like a fastball. And I know that's what a slider is supposed to look like, but there was, I mean, that was textbook.
Oh, 0-1 on Derek Lee. Single in the second, and he struck out on that same slider in the fourth inning. On the outside corner, maybe a little bit off, 1-1. Time to check another text. What can you tell us about the status of Jeff Francis? That's Nick up at Brighton. You'd like to know. Well, Jeff's with the club, and he's begun throwing a little bit, and it's Jeff's mission. This is footage from earlier this afternoon. It's Jeff's mission to get back on the hill before the end of the season.
Well, he threw a 15-pitch bullpen session yesterday. Today he cannot see what he can do flat ground. Well, just go ahead and strike out, everybody, until the fielders take a break for a while. Jorge De La Rosa. Second time he's gotten Derek Lee in the game.
He had 2 strikeouts through 3 innings of play. He now has 7 with 2 outs in the 7th. Second time he's fanned Lee. Matt Diaz up there. He's grounded into a 4-6-3 double play and struck out. Well, the Rockies got on a roll last year behind the pitching in the second half of Ubaldo Jimenez and Jorge De La Rosa, most notably.
You see anything different on this last strikeout? De La Rosa, what he might have done there? He's kind of looking at the fingernail, looking at the finger one more time.
Now this little conference at the mound.
Yeah, I don't ever like that.
And Keith Duggar noticed something. He's going to come out. Of course, what kept him out for 10 weeks was it? I believe it's called a tendon flexor, and it was in the middle finger on his throwing hand. Can't throw the ball any better than he's thrown it tonight.
Well, if that's what it is, or is it a blister up underneath? That's the other side. You kind of see a little bit of a smile and a smirk on some guys' faces out on the mound right now. Keith Duggar's going to look at it.
Well, it's not the same thing because there's no way he
wouldn't be out there.
He's standing out there. And you know what? He's not even going to throw a pitch. So look at that line: 4 hits and 6 2/3, a run, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. And with Jorge, you're always worried about the high pitch count after 5 or 6 innings. George, his pitch count has been beautiful.
Yeah, he's maintained it very well. And the only walk happened with Derek Lowe, and then right after that, they got a double play ball. That's what's helped shorten a lot of things up in this game for him.
If there's any question about his finger, it was just answered there because he just threw a changeup.
Finger pressure on his outer side as he throws his changeup a lot of times. The other thing, he'll throw a split occasionally with his changeup.
There's the 1-1 on Diaz and a ground ball base hit through the right side. Here's one of those moments in a tight baseball game. You have Alex Gonzalez representing the tying run with 2 outs. He homered back in the second. Just 84 pitches with 2 outs in the 7th inning for Jorge De La Rosa. Trying to win for the 5th time this year. A year ago he won 16 ball games, but he missed 2.5 months this year. Home run and a strikeout for Gonzalez, and that kicks away from Olivo. And Diaz becomes the second runner to touch second base. Gonzalez, as I mentioned last inning, the only other guy to touch second base for the Braves when he was circling the bags on the home run.
Well, typically this is for Jimmy Wright getting the phone call down there. It would be Matt Belisle probably, and Matthew and Reynolds.
Here's the 1-0. On the corner for a strike. Slider. 1-1. George, when you were in these situations, did you have to slow yourself down and say, I don't have to do anything special, I just have to make a pitch?
Well, that's the whole key to it. Just don't try to, just because you're in the 7th inning, and you look down there and you see two guys warming up. Well, Beimel, it is not something you got to worry about. Go ahead and finish things up.
Like
and the main reason behind that, you can look up, you shouldn't be tired. Your pitch count's where it needs to be, and you've dominated all the way through this ballgame.
I just got thought to make the super pitch instead of just a quality pitch.
No reason to. You don't have to go out on that limb and think you got to jump off just to get it done. So, and this is where he has thrown that changeup to get outs throughout this game. It's been unhittable.
That hard slider also. This ball left up, and it's a base hit. It's going to score the second run as Diaz comes around, and that wild pitch really hurt De La Rosa. Gonzalez on an off-speed pitch up. Lines a single to center field. He's driven in both runs for the Braves tonight.
Now, this slider was not in a good position at all. You can see it come out of the hand and then start to cut right to the middle of the plate. It didn't have any bite to it all. Missed about a foot, foot and a half. One of the few mistakes De La Rosa has made in this whole start tonight.
Melky Cabrera is at the plate. Now Apodaca is going to come out. This is the first visit. The situation a few minutes ago when they were checking on De La Rosa because of a potential injury does not count as a trip to the mound. Two little mistakes, all right? He didn't finish off the slider. That's what comes to mind. But the wild pitch is what put Diaz in a spot to score.
Try to overthrow the slider. Do it in the dirt. Instead of just doing what you're talking about, just make the pitch not the perfect pitch.
Just reading lips a moment ago, Bob was out there just telling him, make sure you stay focused on each and every pitch.
Ball one on Cabrera. 0 for 2 tonight. Well, this is the Braves' MO in 2010. They fall behind. They have found many ways to come back this year. In the inning, with 2 outs, there were a couple of hits and a run for the Braves. 3-2 Colorado, stretch time at Coors Field. Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. By College Invest, helping Colorado families save for college. By Larry H. Miller Nissan, driven by you. And by Exempla Healthcare, most hearts, most experienced, stjosephheart.org. Steve Duggar checking out Jorge De La Rosa's finger.
See when they smile and laugh a little bit. Keith has a way to keep you on the field. I like that. Through talking, not so much treatment, but just the talking side of things.
Eric O'Flaherty in relief of Derek Lowe here in the 7th inning. Eric Young's 3 for 3, and this bunt a little bit too much at the pitcher's mound. 1 out. That'll bring up Dexter Fowler, who had a bunt hit his last time up.
Pretty good numbers on this youngster, making his 44th appearance. Look at the great earned run average, 2.16 innings pitched. Situational guy, 28 strikeouts. Lefties have done nothing. 210, 1 home run. The right-handers have yet to leave the yard either.
One on Fowler. Derek Loga's 6th inning gives up 3 runs. On 7 hits, fouled off. 2 of the hits, home runs. Walked 2 and struck out 4.
Bilal continues to throw for the Rockies. He's getting hot and doing it in a hurry, so he's probably going to come on to pitch the 8th inning.
3-2 with Gonzalez on deck.
That, or he's just getting a little thrown in. De La Rosa will go back out.
In the air to Hayward in right. Let's go and see what Alana Rizzo's up to again. Alana?
It's hard to keep giving this guy adjectives for all of the different things that he's done. Well, he continues to do that. Of course, in the 2020 club now, the home run in the 1st inning. He now has 26 home runs, 20 stolen bases. I asked him about that earlier. He said, I'm just trying to get better every day. And he's one of 3 guys that leads his team in both home runs and stolen bases. You can see there Shin-Soo Choo of the Cleveland Indians, 15 and 15. And, of course, the big guy in St. Louis with 33 home runs, 12 stolen bases for the Cardinals. Carlos Gonzalez, a young guy, not a tremendous amount of time in the big leagues, but putting up big league numbers every single day.
Carlos Gonzalez is one of the brightest talents in the game, and it has emerged full throttle from last All-Star game to now. There's a base hit for Cardinals, 2nd of the night, and this gets by Melky Cabrera. He misplayed it, didn't realize how hard it was hit. And he allows what should have been a single to turn into a double, Jeff Houston.
That ball was just hit right on the button. And you're right, Melky Cabrera, the route that he took right my angle from home plate here, I was thinking, man, he's not going to be able to get this. Sure enough, he wasn't. We saw that was almost the same swing that he had yesterday on that slider where he catches it out towards the end a little bit more. But then with that fastball, he met up with it and had that top spin on it, rolled it all the way to the wall. Now they're going to walk too low to get to Helton left on left.
And I'm sure that's fine with Todd Helton. 2 outs. They'll put Tulowitzki on. And Helton will come up. He's 0 for 2 and a walk. More hits for Gonzalez tonight. They've been searching for a center fielder, an everyday center fielder, since Andrew Jones left town.
Well, they went out and got Nate McLeod. They thought he was going to be an all-star there. He couldn't hit, wasn't playing very good defense. He went to AAA. So now you're going to end up having Melky out there, and just a bad route ended up on the baseball getting to the wall.
And they're paying him a lot of money to play at Gwinnett County. Here's Helton with 2 out and 2 on. Ball 1. O'Flaherty yesterday worked a clean 7th inning. Did not face Todd yesterday. 2-0. Peter Moylan starting to throw for Atlanta. Side armor. Todd had a quality hack there. That was a good pass to the strike zone. There's Moylan by way of Australia. And this is a fly ball to left field. Matt Diaz camped underneath. Rockies leave 2 more on in the 7th inning. Hold on to a 3-2 lead as we go to the 8th. For today's Haynes Comfort Zone. Well, how about Matt Reynolds? Nice introduction to the big leagues. He's yet to give up a hit. Plus, he got himself a hold. Product of Austin Peay University is really in a comfort zone so far. Clint Barmas comes into the ballgame defensively at second base, and Matt Belisle will take over here in the 8th inning.
Well, the right-hander, what a job he's done this year. 74 in the 3rd innings, over 57 innings, 78 punch-outs. Between he and Betancourt, man, they don't walk people, and they strike out a whole bunch. One stat that jumps out for me with Belisle, his ability to get his first batter faced. I have a pinch hitter here, but first batter's faced 74% of the time, and left-handers have hit just .217 against him.
This is Brooks Conrad pinch hitting.
Pinch hit last night in the ballgame.
He's pinch hitting for David Ross, the catcher.
McCann's waiting to pinch hit for O'Flaherty right behind him.
Two and 0. Attendance just announced 34,485. So a second straight ball game, more than 35 or 34,000 in the house. 2 and 1. Let's check another text really quickly. What ballpark food was the big winner? David in Colorado Springs. You missed it last Saturday. It's hot dogs. He beat Peanuts decisively in the final. Missed. Went right after him with a fastball, and Conrad was really tardy with the swing. 1 out.
And after falling behind 2-0 and come all the way back on him, make a pitch like this, outstanding. Going in there 94, 5 pitches to get a result, just what you wanted, a strikeout.
That had some run on it too.
Bobby Cox making a run at it with his power bats. McCann will come on to catch the 8th inning and bat 9th.
1-0 on Brian McCann. There's Jeff Houston. Jeff situated instead of the camera well next to the Rockies dugout. He's right behind home plate tonight.
Best seat in the house. I mean, these people right here, very fortunate to be able to sit about 5 feet away from the fence and about 25 feet away from home plate.
In those Coors Clubhouse seats,
I know. Comfy seats, too. The only thing is, next time I have to get some food.
Yeah, like you haven't been eating. Nice try.
Oh, where's that?
That just missed. 2-1.
The one thing they won't let me do is yell at the umpire down here, though.
Oh, you can. You can do whatever you want once.
That's why you're down there, not Frazier, because he would be yelling at him. 96 on that fastball. Last couple of outings from Belisle, we've seen 96 flash up more than once.
Well, there's a lot of concern too with the workload. Would he be able to handle that and maintain velocity over the course of time? Obviously, he's proven that, making his 58th appearance, throwing 74 2/3 innings now.
Hard hit ball. Vargas can't get to it, and McCann with a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Omar Infante. Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 95323. You know it's a well-pitched game when the leadoff man is coming up for the 4th time in the 8th inning. 1-0 on Infante, an infield hit in the 1st inning. Fly ball to center field in the 3rd, and he grounded into a 5-4-3 in the 6th.
Kind of goes back to that point you were making earlier, Drew. To have to get to the batting title 4.5 times per game is going to be tough. Or 4.6 or something like that. It'll be tough for Infante to creep up there.
One out, McCann, a short lead at first. 3-2 Colorado, double play ball. There's one, there's two. 3rd double play turned tonight by the Rockies. Or is that 4? That's 4 double plays turned. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 3-2 Colorado. Well done. Sox pinch hit for last inning. All right, our Breaks Plus poll question: should the batter's box be rechalked halfway through the ball game so the back line isn't wiped out? 58% say yes, 42% say no. I think all hitters would say no, and all pitchers would say yes. Brooks Conrad's also in the ball game. He's at third base, and Prado moves to second. Infante has come out, and the new pitcher is an old friend, Takashi Saito, from LA Dodger.
I go back all the way to 07. The home run Helton hit off of him. Down the right field line, he just crushed that ball.
This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Xfinity Voice, unlimited local and long distance calling. Call 1-800-XFINITY. One of the biggest home runs in Rockies history. That got them off and running on that unbelievable run of 07. 2-0 on Seth Smith, who hit a monstrous home run his last time up. That's the difference right now in this ball game as you eyeball Saito's numbers. League hitting just .209 against him.
Got a high fastball, and he got after it, too. He mentioned back in April he'd taken Derek Lowe deep on a slider that hung. Then he got this fastball. This ball was drilled out over the top end of the second deck of the Rockies bullpen.
That's called a strike right on the inside corner. Smith didn't much like the call by Lance Barksdale. So instead of 3-1, it's 2-2. And Saito strikes out Smith with a fastball away. One out in the 8th inning, and that'll bring up Ian Stewart. Let's take a look at the Amica hit zone on Stewart. Amica, it's not how you're covered, it's how you're treated.
I mean, look, that inner half where everybody keeps throwing the baseball to him, but when they get that thing away from him, particularly up, he does a lot of damage.
In there for strike one on Stewart. 0 for 3 tonight. He did reach on an error in the 4th inning by Omar Infante. This is drilled to the gap in right center field. Wasn't hit particularly hard. And getting over there is Hayward. So it's a single for Stewart. And Miguel Olivo will come up. Miguel looking for his first hit tonight. He's 0 for 3, couple of punch outs.
All on sliders. I think Derek Lowe did a good job keeping the ball down and away from Olivo, staying in that middle half power zone of his.
Miguel trying to find that comfort level again at the plate. It's been a struggle offensively in the second half. And he's out in front.
This is going to be interesting. And the reason I say that, Miguel put his hand up like calling for timeout, and I didn't ever hear it was granted in the last second. Home plate umpire Lance Barksdale then called it a ball.
No, he gave him time.
Well, I don't.
Gave him time, didn't call anything.
Well, I understand that, but it wasn't until after the pitch was delivered to home that he granted the time.
No, he did it really late.
2-strike count. Giambi in the on-deck circle. The hit from Matt Belisle. And a base hit to the left side on 0-2 pitch. And now here comes the big man with 2 on and 1 out. Giambi fires at the first pitch, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's fouled straight back.
And in one part of the ball game he's been paid a lot of money to do through his career, and that's hit with runners in scoring position. He's hitting .366 right now in a Rockies uniform with runners in scoring position.
Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off the plate, it's 2-1. Clint Barmes is on deck. Jonathan Herrera may be the pinch runner if Giambi reaches. Two and 2. Earlier in the year, Aaron Cook was the designated runner for Giambi when he wasn't pitching. Esmil Rogers has become that guy, but Rogers is starting tomorrow. And also, you have 1 extra guy now on the bench as the Rockies have gone with a shorter bullpen. Two and 2. Saito strikes out. Jason Giambi for the 2nd out in the inning.
Pretty good split finger it seemed to be, right on the outside part of the plate at 83 miles an hour. A lot of movement down and away. He'll throw a backdoor slider out there also, but that pitch had a lot of movement down.
Stewart at second, Olivo at first. A couple of singles. 3-2 Colorado in the 8th. That was a pitch to hit there for Barmes. That was a little bit up where he likes it and in. Strike on Barmes. outside, 2-1. Barmes first got to the big leagues in 2003 for 25 at bats. Raised to Rocky. Here's the 2-1. Riding fastball. 2-2.
August 28th, 15,000 fans. That's right. The first 15,000 will receive a coffee tumbler courtesy of King Soopers. Get your tickets for that ball game against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
We're going to go away here. And just off the plate, 3-2. So the runners will be moving. Houston Street in the ninth inning. We'll see Hayward, Prado, and Lee. 2, 3, and 4 in the Braves lineup of Bobby Cox. Big gap in left center field. 3-2 on Barmes. And this gets away. It's not a foul ball. Barmes reaches. Bases loaded for Dexter Fowler. This went off the glove. The top of the glove, it looked like, of Brian McCann. That or he completely whiffed on it.
It went in close to the location. I'll tell you that right now. It hit the umpire, Lance Barksdale, but I mean, it didn't even come close, I don't think, where McCann wanted it. He wants this ball outside corner and down. Ball is rode in underneath the hands. Whip hits Barksdale and ricochets over towards the Rockies dugout. McCann might have been looking for a slider or cutter there, Jeff. I don't think he was looking for that pitch, I can tell you that.
He was looking for that same pitch that he threw on 2-2 down and away, and that one rode up and in. Clint, realizing that he didn't foul it off, he took off for first.
Strikeout, pass, ball. That was odd looking. See if the Rockies can capitalize. Dexter Fowler 1 for 4, a bunt single in the 5th. Second time the Rockies have had him loaded up tonight. They're 0 for 1. Ball 1. I like Dexter in this situation, Jeff, because he will make you throw a strike.
Yeah, and he has the speed too. So if he happens to chop one in front of home plate or it gets high, a high bounce, he could beat it out at first. From the left side, he's getting better as far as that strike zone and laying off that ball down and in.
Ball and a strike. Stewart at third, Olivo at second, Barmes at first. A hit here would open it up, give Street some breathing room in the ninth. 2-1.
Great eye. That didn't miss by much.
Street, Manuel Corpus also throwing. Line drive, base hit left center field. That'll score 2. Dexter Fowler coming through. 5-2 Colorado as they add on here at the bottom of the 8th.
That is what you needed last night, that insurance run, and then all of a sudden you get that big winner, and then you get late hits in ball games. Start to separate yourself as a ball club. That's exactly what Dexter does on this pitch. Good pitch down. Dexter, greater job of swinging the bat. Just drove this ball into left center field with a couple of outs. Saints got off to the races in a hurry. every night now, at home anyway, it kind of seems like you've got a little bit of hero going on 1 through 9. Fowler pumped with the hand slap.
Yeah, Atlanta gave the Rockies an extra out, and they took advantage. Here's Cargo, outside, ball 1. 5-2 Rockies. Two-run home run back in the first for Gonzalez. He doubled in the 7th, 2 for 4. Part of that National League batting race. He's hitting .319. He had one to his liking right there. Ground ball toward the hole, cut off by Prado. And he'll throw to Derek Lee. But the Rockies score a pair on the base hit from Dexter Fowler. 5-2 they lead as we go to the 9th. Three more outs in the 9th inning, and then the post-game report will follow. Mark Stout's got some more with details.
Drew, tonight you do some singing, as in ole, 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 Jorge, ole, Jorge. Maybe his best start since opening day. We'll talk about De La Rosa, Goldsmith. Seth Smith hadn't homered in about a month. It's a big one. And Junior Circuit, number 3 hits at the top of the order. It helped. Post-game's coming up, guys.
All right, Mark, thank you. Tonight's tonight's game summary is brought to you by Ecotech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Rockies jumped out behind the Cargo 2-run home run in the first. They held a 2-1 lead to the 6th inning. They got a home run from Seth Smith to make it 3-1. Atlanta closed to 3-2, and then the 2 insurance runs you just saw. De La Rosa was terrific tonight. 7 innings of 2-run baseball. He walked just 1, struck out 7, had a very low pitch count. Matt Bilal worked the scoreless 8th, and now Houston Street will try to close it out.
Well, things a little more comfortable now, obviously with that 3-run lead, but still got to go in the middle of their order and deal with it.
First pitch swings Hayward, and it's a fly ball to deep left, but shy of the track. Gonzalez makes the catch. 1 out, and that'll bring up Prado.
Numbers again on Houston Street in those appearances as he gets back into the swing of things here. 29 and a third. Save situations for Street now, 11 of 15 so far in the season.
And he has saved the last 2 ball games, a 1-0 win in Arizona on Sunday and a 5-4 win yesterday here in Denver. Rockies up 5-2. Prado at the plate. On the inside corner. All-time saves leader, Brian Fuentes, ahead of Jose Jimenez, 0-2. Street will move ahead of Darren Holmes with 2 more outs. Sliders off the plate, 1-2. Rockies have allowed the Braves 7 hits tonight, 6 singles and that home run in the second inning by Alex Gonzalez. Good thing Huey is sitting behind home plate tonight, not where he normally would be sitting.
Where did Alana go? Oh, she's down there in the middle of it. She goes, I'm done. See you boys. Have a fun time.
That's enough. I'm down here today. Nice job,
nice job, Alana. You have a new fan.
Now turn around and watch the game.
Yeah, make sure that little boy turns around. Here's the 1-2. Going to go foul down the right field line. Phil's in Houston, still playing in the 13th inning. It's 2-2. Rockies started the day 6 behind Philadelphia. A couple other teams involved, obviously, in the wild card race.
Pittsburgh beat St. Louis 4-3.
It misses. Giants leading Cincinnati 4-1 in the 4th inning in San Francisco. 2-2 on Prado. Got him with a slider. Great pitch from Street. 2 outs, nobody on in the 9th.
They get pitch after pitch by Houston Street. Here's another. Go right to that outside part of the plate. Hard slider at 84. It appears to be that fastball about knee high, and then all of a sudden, bam, just disappearing out through the Houdini on it.
Derek Lee at the plate. Lee 1 for 3. Derek Lee.
The last 2 pitches, even though they're 93 miles an hour, but they've got some movement on it.
They got a lot of late life on the fastball, scouts like to call it. Had that late sail in on the hands of Derek Lee.
Here's the 0-2. Crowd standing. Rockies trying to win their 3rd straight. 5-2 they lead. Here's the 1-2 to Derek Lee. Ground ball to 3rd. Stewart up with it. Rockies win it. 5-2. They've taken the first 2 of this series with the division-leading Braves from the NL East. De La Rosa gets the victory. Derek Lowe takes the loss. Jim Tracy has 701 managerial victories. And the Rockies playing good baseball the last few days. And a save for Houston Street. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. Dexter Fowler last inning, giving the Rockies a 3-run separation. .60. Stick around. The post-game report is up next.